Question 1 says convert 24 over 30 to a decimal. So when we're converting a fraction to a decimal, we want to do the numerator divided by the denominator. But 24 divided by 30 is not very nice because I don't know my 30 times table very well. I don't know my 24 times table very well. Yeah, actually that's a lie. I know my 30 times table pretty well because it's the same as my 3 times table with a 0. But I don't know my 24 times table. So I'm thinking to myself, surely this question can't be as difficult as it looks. Can I do anything? Yes, I can. I can always make my life simple. Simplify first. So the highest common factor of these two numbers is 6, which if I divide them both by 6, I get 4 over 5. Now, 4 over 5 is the same as 4 divided by 5. The numerator always goes inside the bus stop. Decimal, decimal, add some zeros. 5 goes into 4 0 times with a remainder of 4. 5 goes into 48 times with no remainders. How much easier was that? Because I made my life simple by simplifying first. If it wasn't clear that you should write that down in purple pen, write it down in purple pen. Question 2, simplify fully. And we've got this fraction here. So first of all, let's simplify the numbers. 18 and 3, the highest common factor is 3. So if I divide them both by 3, I get 6 and I get 1. Now I'm going to write it out nicely. There's 1 there, I can just ignore it because it's basically the same as not writing it. And then I just have to cancel all the things they both have. Oops. They've both got 3 y's. They've both got 1 x. So overall, that leaves me with these 3 x's and this 1 y. Or 6x cubed y. Again, make sure you've written down your purple pen notes that you need to. Pause the video so you've got time to do that. And press play when you're ready to keep watching. Question 3 says expand and simplify. So we've got 8 times x, which is 8x. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. Negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. 8x minus 6x is 2x. Negative 24 plus 3 is the same as starting at negative 24 and going up towards 0 by 3, which is negative 21. And that's it. Make sure you've written any purple pen notes that you need to and press play when you're ready to keep watching. Question 4. A. Share £250 in the ratio 3 to 2. Ratio questions, box method, write the total. Because 3 plus 2, what am I doing right there? 3 plus 2 is 5. Actual total is this £250, so I'm going to write that underneath the 5. And the connection from 5 to 250, well, the connection from 5 to 25 is times 5. So the connection from 5 to 250 must be times 50. 3 times 50 is 150. 2 times 50 is 100. So now I'm going to write it nicely with the pound signs, 150 pounds to 100 pounds. Express 50 as a product of its prime factors. I need to be doing the factor tree. And it's always nicest, if you see something like that, to go pull out the 10. Because there's a 0 there, I know that 10 is a factor and 5 is prime. Split 10 into 2 and 5. Circle them. But product means times. 2, 3, 5, 7, don't forget your primes. So we write out our prime factors, 2 times 5 times 5. And a professional mathematician would write 2 times 5 squared. But both of these are correct. Pause the video, make any notes that you need to, and press play when you're ready for number 5. Number 5, calculate 54 times 1.3. Multiplying decimals, gelosia. Most important thing is corner to corner. corner to corner, corner to corner. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 5 is 5, 5 times 3 is 15, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to do my decimal point now before I forget. Now, it's not great, Gelosia, because this decimal point should really be lined up with this line here. But just make sure yours is clearly lined up. The 54, there's a decimal point after the 54. And so these decimal points meet up here, and then it goes down there. And that's where my decimal point is going to be. So now all I have to do is add up the diagonals. I can't speak. So 2 is there. 4 plus 1 plus 5 is 10, with the remainder of 1. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. I've got 0 up here. So the answer is 70.2. Don't forget about the decimal point. Question 6. It's always about the 3 questions when we're adding and subtracting with negatives. First question, where am I starting out? Starting out on the number line. So for question A, I'm starting at -9. Am I going up or down? Second question. I'm going up. Third question, by how many? 4. So I'm going up towards 0, which means I end up at -5 for part A. For part B, where am I starting? -A. Am I going up or down? Well, subtracting negative is the same as adding. So I'm starting at -A. I'm adding 8A, which means I'm going up by 8A. Remember, -A is the same as -1A. Which means if I'm starting at -1 and I'm going up by 8, I end up at positive 7A. Or just 7A. So pause the video, make any notes that you need to. Press play when you're ready for number 7. 7A says round 459.4 to 2 significant figures. So the first significant figure is the 4, the second significant figure is the 5, which means 9 is the decider. Is 9 a strong or weak decider? It's a strong decider, which means this 5 needs to become a 6. The 4 stays as it is, but remember, the whole point of rounding is to make the number similar to what it was before, but a bit easier to manage. 46 is nothing like 459.4. So I've got to fill out the remaining place value columns up to the decimal point. Yeah, so the answer is 460. If you're at 460.0, it's still correct, but 460 is best. HCF means highest common factor. Factors of a number go into a number. So we've got to find the biggest number that goes into 8 and 12. So for 8, I've got 1 and 8, 2 and 4. 3 doesn't go into it, and I know I've done them all. 12, I've got 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and I'm done. So what's the biggest factor they both have? I'm looking and I'm seeing 4 is the biggest number they've both got. So the answer is 4. Let's write that in my answer space. So make sure you mark that. If you forgot what factor meant, write it down. Factors of a number go into a number. Don't get it confused with multiples. Question 8. A. Work out leaving your answers in their simplest forms. So, to add these fractions, adding and subtracting fractions, find the LCM. But first I've got to make the first one an improper fraction. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And now I can do adding and subtracting fractions, find the LCM. The LCM of 5 and 10 is just 10. So that's the same as it was before. The first one, I have to times by 2. Do it to the bottom, do it to the top. 26 plus 3 is 29. That stays as it is. This is actually in its simplest form, but we could write it as a mixed number. How many 10s go into 29? 2 with a remainder of 9. Make sure you pause the video and written any purple pen notes that you need to. Question 8. B. 20 over 28 times 32 over 40. Well, multiplying fractions, top, top, bottom, bottom. But always make your life simple. Simplify first. So I'm looking at the 20 and the 40. What's the highest common factor of those two? What's that? Correct, 20. Divide that by 20, divide that by 20. And now I'm looking at 28 and 32. What's the highest common factor? 4. So 28 divided by 4 is 7. 32 divided by 4 is 8. But wait, there's more simplifying that I can do. There's no more cross simplifying, but the 8 and the 2, they can be simplified further. What's the highest common factor of these two? The answer is 2. So divide 8 by 2 and I get 4. Divide by 2 and I get 1. Now, and only now, when I multiply top, top, bottom, bottom, the 1 times the 4 and the 7 times the 1, will I get my answer in its simplest form straight away. So if you missed out that orange simplifying, make sure you've written it down now. Question 9a. Without a calculator, find 24% of 600. Well, in this situation, it would not be very good to find 10% and 10% and 1% and 1% because it would take really long. This percentage is awkward. So instead, I'm doing original times multiplier equals final. My original amount is 600. My multiplier, if I'm finding 24%, divide by 100, 0.24. So it's 600 times 0.24. If I times them together with gelosia, I'm getting 144. So that's the answer. Part B. Without a calculator, increase 25 by 19%. So again, it's not going to be a good one to try and find 10% and then find 9% and add it on, because this is an awkward percentage. So instead I'm going to do original times multiplier equals final again. The original amount is 25. If I'm increasing by 19%, it's like I've got 100% plus 19% because I'm increasing. I get 119%. But remember, I'm trying to find a multiplier, so I've got to divide it by 100 to get a decimal. So that's my multiplier, but times the original by the multiplier. And if I do all that nicely, and I don't make a mistake with my gelosia, I get 29.75. So if you try to find 10% and then 9% and then add it all on, I recommend this method. It is cleaner. Pause the video, make any notes that you need to, as always, and press play when you're ready to keep going. Question 10, part A. Work out the area of the following shapes, all lengths are in centimetres. Well, this shape here, this is a parallelogram. It's got two pairs of parallel sides. Area of parallelogram, base times perpendicular height. There's three lengths here. One of them's a red herring. Can you see which one it is? I'm going to call the base 3. And the one that's perpendicular to it, if I extended it out, would be this one here, 12. Making the red herring is 13 nonsense over here. Red herring. So area equals 3 times 12, which is 36. And remember, guys, area, you've got to be giving square units. So it's 36 centimeters squared. If you missed the red herring or you fell for the trap, then make a note now. Part B, there's another red herring. This is a triangle. Area of a triangle, base times perpendicular height divided by 2. The base, I'm going to call 10. The perpendicular height is this one here. It's the 9. The red herring, therefore, is this slanted height here. It's not helpful. It's a red herring. 10 times 9 is 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45 centimeters squared again. So make sure you've written any purple pen notes, and we'll move on to question 11. Question 11 says solve this equation. It doesn't say solve this equation, it says solve and then it gives you an equation. So how do I solve the equation? Well, I have to get x on its own, find the value of x. X on both sides, get rid of the smallest x. But before I do that, expand the brackets. Remember, that's a plus 12. Now I've got x on both sides, get rid of the smallest x. Do it to one side, do it to the other. Eliminate the minus 3 by adding 3. Do it to one side, do it to the other. 12 plus 3 is 15. Now I need to eliminate the times 3. Divide by 3. Do it to one side, do it to the other. So x equals 5. Question 12. Find the perimeter of the following shape. The lengths are in centimeters. Perimeter is the distance around a 2D shape. So we're talking about that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that, plus that. Now we're not given the lengths of all these sides, but we are told that they are the same, as indicated by those little lines, which means each of these is 8.3. And so to find the total perimeter, I could either add up 8.3 6 times, or I could just do 8.3 times 6. I like my gelosia, I'm good at it, so I'm going to do gelosia. Decimal points meet here. So the answer is 49.8 centimeters, because we are finding perimeter and the lengths are in centimeters. Pause the video and make any notes that you need to, guys, and then press play when you're ready to keep. Well, in fact, actually, that's the end of the video. That's it. So just remember to send it to me. Thank you.